I have some fucking real shit on this one.
Real shit?
Yeah, I was doing
real shit.
I was doing some fucking
Some real
research.
hardcore shit.
Hardcore. Okay,
Right.
ready?
Yeah.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Turn up this podcast.
I'm in this for the money and the pussy, and they're both falling off the trees.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 76 of the Reasonable Doubt podcast. It's the first time I've tried that intro. As always, we are your hosts, Eric C. Griff.
And Chicka J Money.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning against my will and went for a 5-kilometer run.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you? Why against your will?
Because I just accidentally fell asleep at like 7:30 last night. And
I was wondering about that. I texted you and you responded back at like 3:30 in the morning.
I woke up at like 3 o'clock this morning and then watched Netflix for like an hour and a half, and I was like,
I gotta do something.
I guess I'll go for a run.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I'm fucking sore, man.
Are ya?
Yeah.
Rough couple days?
Rough couple days.
Yeah, I wondered why you were up so late.
Because I worked. I worked fucking 12 to 12 yesterday.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was a fucking brutal one.
That sucks.
But what are you going to do? It's Rock the Park.
Yeah,
it's Rock the Park.
That was
This is coming out a couple days after the end of Rock the Park, or a few days after the end of Rock the Park. If you went to Rock the Park, I hope you had a good time.
For those of us who are not from London, Ontario.
Yeah,
which is most of our listeners.
Which is most of our listeners. Very international we are.
Yes.
A lot of high society listeners in New York City.
Of the haute couture.
Yeah, a lot of listeners in New York, California. If you're from there,
yeah.
Rock the Park, we just put up a music festival in one of the city parks.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking nightmare most of the time.
Yeah, we had Papa Roach.
Yeah, we had Papa Roach, big names, Billy Talent.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill.
We did have Alexis on fire. Cypress Hill. Luda Chris.
Wow. I went to the Luda night.
Yeah, you did. How was it?
Awful.
You didn't stay for Luda, right?
No, I didn't.
That's actually pathetic. What's wrong with you?
Because there was a fucking 4-hour delay.
So, go to Ludacris.
No. It's not the delay that I'm mad about. It's my thing on Rock the Park. Rock the Park is a thing that people go to that don't go to shows ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's people from London that go to Rock the Park every year.
Yeah, and they don't go to any other concerts.
And they don't go to any other concerts, and they suck at being in a crowd.
Yeah.
Just so many fucking fights, people pushing and shoving. Because there was a 4-hour rain delay, everyone left, went to bars, and got wasted.
The other thing I noticed is that the crowd, like, you can have a crowd that's the entire length, like going all the way backwards, looks real tight.
Yeah.
But then you start walking and there's these enormous gaps everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you go through the gap to like walk back up to your friends, people get mad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not shoulder to shoulder because you're all weird and like don't want to be near each other.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like there's gaps and there's room for people to move through, but nobody knows how to move through.
Yeah, no one knows how to move through a crowd.
Nobody knows how to move through a crowd. People will move out of your way if you're like, excuse me, sorry, coming through. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I find Rock the Park, they don't. There can be tons of space and you're like, excuse me, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like, no, there's fucking 6 feet to your right. Move over that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of my fucking way,
Or you're
dude.
trying to like, oh my fucking.
Yeah.
And this year, one of the things that I hated is they expanded VIP.
They keep doing some money grab.
So VIP was like half of the front.
Oh, really?
Like it was like split down the middle.
Damn.
And the right side was VIP and the left side was general admission.
It used to be just a little box off to the side.
It used to just be a little box, or it was just the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like it was just the sidelines raised up, so general admission was the crowd, and if you wanted VIP, that's where you would like sit. And you would get like bar service and shit. That was what VIP was for. But now it's like half the crowd is VIP. So half the crowd is like barely full. And then the other half is jammed in and tucked behind VIP.
That's a piss off.
Yeah. And like, we're trying to move backwards through the crowd because there was this crazy drunk chick starting fights. So we were trying to back up like 4 rows of people so we wouldn't be in the fucking crosshairs of that. right?
Yeah.
And we're like moving through, and it's taken me a second to get through these people because there's also people coming forward. And this girl looks at me and she's like, "You're ruining my vibe."
What?
Because I was standing beside her facing the wrong way for like 4 seconds. She's like, "Keep it moving, you're ruining my vibe."
I would have been like, yo, no one gives a fuck. You
This
white
woman
trash bitch.
woman could have kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched when I
Big
saw the
old-
crowd
big
of
old
people.
gal.
Yeah, I saw the crowd of people going down there for Ludacris.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, that is a special collection of white trash right there.
Dude, it was the whitest trash I've ever seen.
I've never seen so many women in like baseball jerseys with cornrows in my life.
I've never seen so many white dudes with cornrows.
Yeah, just white dudes, cornrows, and baseball jerseys. And I was like wearing like a Braves jersey and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, like Luda's from Atlanta. You're not.
Dude, and so many white boys that had never been told no in their life.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a certain type of dude. Like, it's a line to get drink tickets and drinks, right?
Yeah.
So we're waiting in this, and just like 4 dudes just start plowing through people
To try and get
to get
up
to the front of the line. And obviously the people selling drinks see this. They're like, no.
Go to the back of the line.
Go to the back of the line. They're like, what the fuck? Like, throwing shit. White dudes saying the N-word.
What?
It was actually, like, horrible.
Dude, that's actually. I wondered because I saw you briefly, and I was like, "You guys are here, and you're not at
Yeah.
Luda," and you're like, "Yeah, fuck it." And like Brian, your girlfriend, was like, "Yeah, we can't do that. I'm not doing it." I was like, "That bad, eh?"
That bad. And dude, like, I've been to hip hop shows. I know that the crowd's a little different, right? It's not like a metal show. It's not like a rock show or anything
I
like
will
that.
say, of all the shows that you can go to, the most courteous are, in my opinion, metal shows.
By far.
Like hardcore or metal or like hardcore punk.
Yeah.
Those are the most courteous crowds. You can walk through a shoulder-to-shoulder crowd and people will like help
room.
you to move through.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a different level of fan. I think if you're going to a metal show, you're never like a casual fan.
Yeah, you're like, I like this band a lot.
You're like, I really like this band. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But like fucking like rock shows, you get people just going because it's something to do that night and they've heard that song on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're just out of their fucking element. And they're like, I need my 6 feet of space.
Yeah.
You know, you're in my personal space. And it's like, yeah, dude.
shoulder to shoulder. Too
dude,
bad.
you're 4 rows back from the stage. People are gonna be in your space.
Yeah, that's the other thing I
You know what
find
I
is
mean?
like hardcore shows, metal shows. Everyone's used to going to a concert and like being touched on all 4 sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you bump into them and they're like, whatever. They don't even look at you. They're like, oh, I'm just getting bumped into.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
cares? You just guard your beer and fucking.
I'm totally fine being in a crowd where I'm being touched.
Yeah, that's a
totally
concert.
fine. I'm
Yeah.
expecting this.
I expect that, yeah.
Right? But I'm not into being in a crowd where people are like, and not even like full shoving me, but like pussy shoving.
Yeah.
Just like shoving me a little bit.
Like,
where it's
move
like
away
just
from me.
like fingers in my ribs. Just like, go in there. But like not enough to say anything. Not
Yeah.
enough to be like, get out of the way. Or like you're pushing up on me. Because if someone was like, yo, you're pushing up on me, I'd like make an effort to
You're
move.
like, oh yeah, my bad.
But like they're just like, meh.
Yeah, I find actually the worst show that I think I've been to was like some folky shit.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
like, yeah, like weird who was it? Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros. And I can't remember who they
Okay.
opened for, something like. But it was terrible.
Yep.
It was like the rudest fucking group of overprivileged white people you've ever dealt with in your life.
Yeah.
People who have fucking spent their entire lives in suburbia.
Yeah.
And now they're like...
Mama's boys.
Yeah, and now they're like coming into contact with the downtown people who live downtown. And
Yeah.
and they're like, what? You're disgusting. And it's like, yeah, that's how we live down here. Go away. I don't want you in this part of the city. You suck. Go back to your cookie cutter home. I like my shithole apartment.
Yeah. But dude, just the amount of dudes like just fucking trashy dudes with their trashy girlfriends Just standing there and be like, yo, I wish someone would get in my fucking face. Yo, I wish someone would try me today. Like, I'm not in the fucking mood. It's like, dude, you're at a show. Like,
You're at a
what
show,
do you mean you're
enjoy
not
it.
in the mood?
Yeah, everyone should be here to have a good time. If you're
Why'd
not,
you show
fuck
up
off.
mad?
Yeah, like what?
What happened today? If you're that mad that you're, like, ready to fight people...
That's
like,
the vibe. That's the vibe, man. That's what they want to do.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
know.
they think it is. They think they're tough going to a Luda show. Like,
Yo, it's ludicrous. He was in Fast and Furious.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, there's this mentality that I don't understand that surrounds hip-hop shows, and I don't get it at all. You are not tough for listening to the music that someone who went through, obviously, like, some hardships in life, just because that person's tough as fuck
Doesn't mean you're tough as
doesn't
fuck.
mean you're tough as fuck for listening to them. That person, has obviously recognized that life kind of sucked the way it was and made an effort to remove themselves from that lifestyle by producing and writing music and like becoming a musician. And now they put on these shows where they want people to come and enjoy their music and have a good time. You don't get a tough badge because you show up
to see
to
Ludacris.
fanboy your fucking favorite rapper. That's just not how it works, man. You're still a fucking pussy. And like, yeah, like I'm here to watch my favorite rapper Luda, who was in Fast and the Furious, and
Yeah.
I fucking loved area codes, you know? Like,
I love
fucking-
area
yeah.
codes, but that doesn't make me a tough guy.
That doesn't make me tough. It doesn't make me pimpin'.
Also-
I show up with my white-ass Dutch girlfriend, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay, we're going to watch area codes, and you sing along minus the N-words, and you think you're super cool.
Yeah, I
and
say
that's
neighbor
about it.
instead.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was just... And it's like, Luda obviously hasn't lived rough in like 30 years.
No, it's been a long time. It's been a
Of
long
Luda
time.
being a millionaire.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he's fine.
He owns an island off the coast of Africa.
Does he really?
Yeah, his family lives there. He's a citizen of whatever that country is. I can't remember.
No way.
Yeah, I follow him on Insta. He lives a bougie life.
I would hope so.
Yeah, he
I'm sure the
he
Fast and Furious
lives on a
movies paid
private
out.
island with his like family and his kids.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, he's a great father.
Something that these guys are not.
Yeah, like
You know,
he spends a
every
lot of
dude-
time with his kids. He's always posting on Instagram, taking his kids out to do stuff. He's a great guy.
Yeah, every dude in that concert was the type that like never sees their kids because they caught like a domestic abuse charge or something. It's like, that fucking bitch won't let me see him, and then not pay child support for like 6 months.
It's like, yeah, that's classy.
That is classy because these guys are 35 and they've just got like a 19-year-old girlfriend.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Must be the life, eh?
Must be the life, dude.
Waking up every day,
You're fucking
knowing that you're the lowest class of degenerates.
showing up in your full matching Bulls outfit. It's always the fucking Bulls.
Dude, a Bulls, or I'm telling you, I saw a couple guys showing up in Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
And like decked out head to toe Atlanta Braves with a bandana on tied around
Oh,
under
the
the
fucking
hat.
bandanas.
And I was like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, I know. Red bandanas out the
Yeah.
back pocket. I'm like,
Like we are in London, Ontario.
you're in London,
half,
Ontario. You're
half the
not
country
crippin'.
hasn't even heard of us.
You're not crippin' right now.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, this is not fucking Kirkshaw in LA, you jackass.
Your name's like fucking Colton. You're not crippin'. But his friends call him Colt 45.
Colt 45 and K Money.
Game money.
That's Kyle. He loves Monster. That's why he's always jacked up, bro.
That's why I'm so shit.
Fucking
Wearing his
douchebags.
wearing his hollow chain.
Likes plastic chains.
Oh
and
no, he got
plastic
his
hose.
He got his chain from Zoomies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that's a cool
Classy.
spot. That's a cool spot.
Yeah, that's how you get a good Cuban link.
That is, yeah, from the mall.
All right, let's get off of these. Speaking of music, though, I can piggyback off this a bit.
Okay.
I was watching some stuff, and then I started reading a study. Ugh. Reading studies, I love reading studies for the information that I can regurgitate later. But at the same time, you read these studies, and they're always studies on like normal people of the world, and immediately when you start reading through, you're like, these motherfuckers think we're aliens.
What do you mean?
Like, the people conducting the study are almost definitely aliens.
Yeah?
Yeah, hearing how they talk about people, they're like, the music seems to excite them. It's like, yes, emotions are filling their hearts.
Yeah.
How they describe it, but we don't see any increase in their blood pressure.
It kind of reminds me of how, like, white dudes review rap.
Yeah.
Have you ever see, like, white guys review rap albums?
Yeah.
And it's like, the highly acclaimed album Killers on the Streets.
Yeah. Killers
Doesn't have the lyrical mastery of gang banging and hoes. But
So anyway, this study,
yeah.
it was like a conglomerate of studies that kind of came to a conclusion, and this was a conclusive study to outline how humans perceive music.
Okay.
So basically, there's a bunch of different animals that understand rhythm, that we see that understand rhythm. There's ones that understand pitch, understand like tone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like bonobo apes seem to have like an understanding of octaves and pitch.
Okay.
So they get that,
Yeah.
but they have no sense of rhythm and beat.
Okay.
Zero. When they react to it, they can't anticipate the beat.
Oh, like if you're like, they
don't
continue.
They'll slightly react every time. They can't do it.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because they're our closest cousins for primates.
Yeah.
Chimps and stuff, nothing. They have zero comprehension of music, which is very strange.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't realize
That's
this.
the missing link.
So cockatoos and seals have
Okay.
a really, really good, and sea lions, I think, are the other one, have a really good understanding of rhythm. So
Okay.
they'll like bob to stuff, and they like, you can change the tempo, and they fully understand that there's a tempo change.
That's how they train them and shit, right?
Well, it's not that they train them. They just see ones that aren't even trained. Like you play something like that cockatoo that got famous on TikTok or whatever for Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's where this came from.
Okay.
That someone was like, like some professor who studied music interpretation was like, we don't know of animals that actually understand rhythm.
Yeah.
Calls this lady and is like, I need to study your bird.
Mm-hmm.
And then starts studying cockatoos. Well, it turns out they all are like that.
They can just figure out music.
They just they understand rhythm really well. They understand rhythm. They're not anticipating. They'll be like, because they'll lift their foot and their click is exactly on point.
Oh, they're not like waiting.
They're not
to hear.
reacting. They're not reacting at all. They're with the beat and they just go along to the beat. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Seals do the same thing, that they'll bob, and the bottom they like do,
Yeah.
and they're on point every time.
It's
really
sick.
interesting. But pitch and octave, they don't understand.
So we could combine a bonobo and a seal. We could possibly get a great musician.
A weird human. So they start going through, there's a bunch of other examples of like different animals that understand different aspects of music, but don't understand it as a conglomerate whole.
Yeah.
The only creature we have found, now I'm not saying it's not out there, but it's very likely that we are alone in our comprehension of music.
Oh.
And humans, there's nowhere in the world where humans do not use music. There's not a single part of the entire...
Well, dudes that listen to Tom McDonald.
Okay, well... But
I would call it music.
There's no culture in the world where...
That doesn't have music?
There's zero.
That makes sense.
There's zero. Worldwide, there is not a human culture on the face of the planet that does not have music.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, music is like... It's also a tool, right? For a lot of societies, right? Like, they would use music for rowing.
Yeah, to keep pace.
To keep pace and everyone on the same beat. They would, like... that's why... like
work, it helps with, like, continuing work.
Exactly. That's
There's
why,
all sorts of stuff.
When people used to march in formations, like, into battle, that's why they would have a drummer.
Yeah.
And, like, a guy playing a trumpet or a bugle or something, so that, like, it would keep everybody in time.
There's all sorts. China and, like, Belize, they use it and have been documented using it for ceremonies and stuff to express emotion. Mm-hmm. So that people who are coming in and don't know what's happening understand what's happening. And that's been documented. Like, China is obviously excellent at documenting stuff. They've been documenting that for like centuries and centuries, like over 1,000 years.
Damn.
Where like,
First off,
so we have like a different, North Americans have a different understanding. So like a descending scale,
Yes.
that is like sadness,
Yes.
right? Like a classic one would be like Feeling Good, Nina Simone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like supposed to express lament,
Okay.
right? In other cultures, like someone say from like China or that area of the world, like Southeast Asia, their scale that expresses sadness is totally different,
Yeah.
which is weird. We would hear it, like the one example I heard, they referenced it. I think it was a Korean that they referenced in that study, and it's an upscale crescendo, but it's on a minor scale, and that expresses sadness. But when we hear it, we probably hear it more as a happier term. But they use it for like funerals and stuff.
Okay.
It's sadness. It expresses lament.
Well, did you hear that, like, the differences in the way music is done, too, between, like, the West and the East? Like China and India and stuff, where...
The
like
Indian scale's totally different.
Yeah, because when we sing,
Yeah.
it's like there's individual notes, like a staircase that we hit.
Yeah,
but the Indian scale, they kind of go back and forth, and there's like a middle in between the note.
Well, we have octaves that are divided into 7, I think.
7 or 8 or something like that, yeah.
And I should know that, actually.
You should know that.
Yeah.
I think we both should, actually.
Yeah, that's pathetic. But it's like 4 or 5
It's
times
octave,
that.
it's 8.
It's octave, yeah. It's yeah.
We figured it out.
But so each octave's divided into 8, and theirs are like completely different. Like their scale, there's way more notes between notes.
Yeah.
There's way more.
I'm not going to
sounds
demonstrate it
between
because it sounds like a white guy being racist toward Indian people. But you know, like when they sing and they go like,
notes.
yeah, and they like go back and forth. That's completely different, and we don't have that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we do, and it's called electronic music, and we hate them.
We hate electronic music.
Yeah,
Electronic music
that's called,
on Not On Molly sucks.
Yeah, that's called 90s techno, and it's not cool
No,
anymore.
90s techno is cool.
I love it. I just want to be popular.
I just want the one person that's really into 90s techno listening to get really mad at you.
I hope you do. We can do MDMA and go to a 90s rave together.
I had a little something to talk about before. I had like this story, and I wanted to ask you if you had anything similar in your school when you were younger, and it kind of relates to the people I saw at Rock the Park. Okay?
Okay.
So I spent a couple of years when I was growing up in St. Thomas.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it's a hard fucking city, man.
Let's explain. St. Thomas is...
the meth capital of the world. No, sorry, the pain pill capital of the world.
It's not actually. Woodstock is. But...
It's
St.
up
Thomas
there.
St. Thomas
Close.
is like a little... It's a big town that's
Or
near
small
one of
city.
our major cities in Ontario. And it's halfway between nowhere and the lake.
Yeah.
And...
The coolest thing about St. Thomas is how close it is to Port Stanley.
Which is a cute little, like, lake town. It's a port town.
It's a nice town. But, so, for some reason, this was, like, right at the perfect time when, like, everyone was really into 50 Cent and stuff. So they brought this guy in to talk to us. It was also a Catholic school about the dangers of gang violence. Right?
Okay.
And he got almost everything wrong, which was hilarious because he was basically just like yelling at a bunch of white kids for being into G Unit.
Was he a black dude?
No, he was a white guy. I'm pretty like 90% sure this guy's a pastor. too.
Oh, okay, so he's an idiot.
Yeah, and he
Just kidding. I'm sorry, Father.
He was like, "You guys think you have swag? Think you have swag?" And everyone's like, "No," because we're like 12.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
You know what I mean? Like, there's
is.
some flat brim caps, but no one's like, "Yo, swag."
Swaggy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's like, "You know that stands for secretly we are gay."
What?
And I remember being like,
That's not what that
I don't
stands
think that's
for.
what that means. I remember looking over the teachers at the side of the room, and in all of their faces, they're like, "This is a mistake." Like, this is not going anywhere productive. He called a white guy who was wearing, like, a basketball jersey. He called a white kid, like, you know the N-word, but with a W at the start?
Yes, yeah.
And we were like,
Yeah. With the hard R, too. You're like, yeah, he's racist.
Okay. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, it was actually like batshit.
He would have hated me. I wore basketball jerseys like the entirety of my youth.
And it's like, he was like, oh, you guys like sagging your pants? Huh? You like sagging your pants? That's code in prison for you want to have anal sex with men. And he's talking to like the oldest kid there's 13. You know what I mean? I was like 10.
Oh my god.
It was actually fucking bonkers. And I remember they had to cut it off early, but they never said they cut it off early, but I knew they did because we all left the assembly and the teachers had nothing planned.
And they were like,
we're gonna long recess.
everyone's gonna play some dodgeball today.
Did you ever have that though? Like teachers for some reason so scared of like gang violence in your school? Because like I went to small Catholic schools.
Yeah, so I had one, like I spent a lot of my schooling at the one, like I took French immersion.
Yeah. Hotbed for violence.
Yeah, like all the kids are nerds, right? Like, they all come from really good families. Like I went to a really good school. We had the highest EQAO results in the province for like years. Yeah. Like decades.
Oh yeah, hotbed
we were like private school level fucking EQAO results.
No way.
Oh yeah, so like I remember I used to wear basketball jerseys. I loved basketball. So my cousin did, my uncle did, like our family watches basketball.
Yeah.
And like there was one time that I came in the winter and I had a G Unit hat.
Yeah.
So I'd like
drippy.
I was like, yo, Lloyd Banks. Like G Unit, I don't know, whatever.
Many men.
Yeah.
Wish
and
death
like,
upon
it's hard,
me.
like it was hard. I was a kid. I watched basketball, and there's a lot of hip hop references, especially back.
Especially then,
like 15 years ago in basketball. Like there was basketball was very
like,
heavy on
rappers
like
were just hanging out there the whole time.
Yeah, it's predominantly like black culture, American black culture, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was introduced to it, and like me and my cousins to this day, we always watch basketball and we fucking listen to lots of hip hop.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. And I remember coming in a G Unit hat, and I had a Michael Jordan jersey on. Or it might have been an Atlanta Hawks jersey. And my teacher talked to my mom about gang.
No!
And my mom was like, why? And then my dad showed up, who's black. And they were like, we're concerned about gang violence. And it was like, because he's wearing a basketball jersey.
Oh.
And she was like, well, yes, you know.
She doubled down.
Yeah, she was like associated with gangs. And my dad was like,
because they're black?
Yeah, my dad was like, he's short and he likes Spud Webb. That it was.
He likes Spud Webb.
That's what it was. It was a fucking Atlanta jersey because my dad was like, he's short, and like I used to be really short, and he was like, he just likes Spud Webb because he can jump and touch the rim. Like, we just watch basketball in our household, like too fucking bad.
Oh my god! Yeah. Could you imagine the fear? Like you've got this little white French immersion kid. You're like, I'm gonna fucking put the fear of God into him about gang violence, and your black dad shows up, and you've got to be
what
like,
are you talking about?
It's because he's dressing black. He's a danger to everybody, and to like double down on that in front of the black guy is absolutely nuts. Like that's fucking nuts.
Like, yeah, well, it's definitely gang violence. Why is it bright red? Well, because all the Atlanta jerseys are bright red.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what to tell you.
Ask the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, dude, the red. Like if you showed up in like a red sweater, they'd be like,
I had
see no. Like even Barney's. Like, have you noticed that sign? It makes me laugh every time. No gang colors.
Dude, I went in...
Dude, this isn't fucking Chicago.
I went in and I went in a fucking Bulls jersey with a Bulls hat on when I was like 19.
Yeah, that's prime 19-year-old dumb outfit.
But I went there to sit at the bar because like, I don't know, we wanted to sit on the patio, but me and wanted to watch the game. Oh, fuck, I said his name.
That's okay.
Whatever. Me and D, my right D. And we wanted to watch a game, and it was Bulls and someone else. I can't remember. But I was like, oh, I want to watch a game. He's like, okay, sure. And so I'm like, I'm putting on all my Chicago stuff.
My Bulls stuff.
Yeah, I'm putting on all my Bulls stuff. We're going to go watch Bulls play. And we show up, and the guy was like, hey. And then one of the bouncers was like, there's a Chicago game on.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, oh yeah, never mind, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
you're
gang
gonna
colors.
be a problem.
I'm sitting at the bar watching a fucking Bulls game.
I remember at school one time they were like, you guys can't hang out in larger groups than 3.
That's insane.
Because it's a gang mindset or something like that.
I think the Catholics were real scared of this.
They were really scared in Lucan, Ontario.
Yeah.
That someone was gonna bang. You know what I mean?
What?
Like it was actually
Where does that come from?
White fear. That's what that comes from.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is why you have all these white folks that think that other people are taking over.
Exactly. It's
the
exact same thing.
It's the same thing. It's like,
right?
oh yeah.
It's like the liberals are going to take over
They're
suburbia.
Over. Everyone thinks, people are taking over. Like, taking over what?
Yeah.
What are you worried about? Rich people are
like,
there's still a bunch of rich white folks who control all the biggest companies.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Calm down.
It was probably like the first kid showed up to that school in the history of ever that wasn't white. And the teachers were like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Until we let these kids not hang out in groups of 3 anymore.
Oh, it's so fucked, man.
It is so fucked.
It's like when I hear people being like, I just heard this recently. They were like, the Indians are taking over. I was like, what? They go, Indians are taking over. You see these guys?
Look at them.
Look at them.
Standing there.
They're like, no, the guy was like, driving. I know a couple of them that are driving skip the dishes, and then they work at the gas station at night. Where are the jobs for us? I was like,
you're doing neither of those jobs.
I was like, the jobs for... I don't want to drive fucking skip the dishes. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know, it's the same thing that happens in the South when people are like, all these illegal immigrants are coming to take our jobs. It's like, dude, those dudes are putting in 16-hour days, like picking produce.
Yeah.
No white dude's doing that job.
Nobody wants these jobs.
Nobody wants these jobs.
Yeah.
The only water they get is out of a big black plastic barrel. It's like boiling. It's like boiling hot water. Like, you're not taking this job. And like all the southern like farmers and shit are like, no, we can't stop this because there will be nobody to pick crops. Which is like a fucked, because that's a crazy job. It should pay enough that like most people would take that job.
No.
But it doesn't.
No, because your produce would be too expensive.
Because your produce would be too expensive. But
this,
no, it's fucked.
The person who said it was a regular at our bar.
Oh, the racist bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
That bar that we worked at, the racist one.
It was hilarious.
I've actually heard some crazy out-of-pocket shit.
Some crazy shit from someone who comes in there quite often. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And it's like,
he said this to me, and I was like, he said, I met one guy. He told me he worked 3 jobs. Drove for Uber, drove for Skip the Dishes, drove for DoorDash. That's ridiculous. And I was like, 3 food It just means your fucking Uber's on time, man. Like,
yeah,
you get Uber Eats.
Is this also the guy with no job?
I believe
I believe this is the guy with no job.
Yeah. Who's been retired.
Yeah. It's that guy.
Retired, basically.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're taking over. Fuck off.
Taking over what?
Yeah, it's like...
I just want to say, to be clear, I'm happy when I go to the fucking hospital and some Indian guy's my doctor, and I'm like, sick, thanks for getting educated here and staying and helping the community. And not leaving to the States to become a multi-millionaire.
Well, the thing is, too, it's like, these people get so mad that, like, oh, well, he's working at the gas station at night. And it's like, well, dude, you go to the gas station at night. Like, someone's got to be working there.
Someone needs to work. Are you going to do it? No?
Are you going to do it? No. Well, it's like, oh, fucking all these, they just show up and they drive Uber. But you get your McDonald's in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
so like,
I'm happy about it.
This goes 2 ways.
Yeah. You lose your amenities if you don't want these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's
retarded. And then, McDonald's is an entry-level job. Like, should be just for high schoolers, blah, 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 blah. But then if your McDouble takes longer than 3 minutes in the drive-thru,
You're pissed.
you lose your goddamn
Also,
mind.
why is McDonald's... I've never understood this. McDonald's is an entry-level job. It should be just for high schoolers. This argument baffles me.
I don't get it.
Because McDonald's... I know friends. I have 2 friends who started with McDonald's in high school and still fucking work for them to this day.
Yeah.
And both of them make like 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
And they're like... They were making 80 grand a year at like 24.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like... It's a good job. It's a massive corporation. If you can do well, like, they educate you, they move you up the ladder, you get managerial experience.
If it was only for high
school
school students, then McDonald's would be closed during high school hours.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not.
It's not. You know
It's
why?
open
Because
all
it's
the
a
time.
decent job.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why we knock it. It's like they only pay minimum wage. Yeah,
Yep.
until you become like their weird little floor manager and then they bump you to $20 an hour.
I love middle management at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Because
dude.
it's like, you've made something of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not just like Dunkin' Fries. You're like a step up, which is commendable, right? But they run that shit like the fucking army.
Yeah.
Like, it's craziness back
Dude,
there.
it's
you ever like take a
standardized.
look, like whoop, just like into the back of a McDonald's? They're like 1 second away from a bullwhip.
Man, it's because it's standardization.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
And if you fuck up, then someone else will take your supervisor job.
I will maintain this forever. My 2 favorite companies in the world are Red Bull.
Yeah, because they got hot chicks selling
Well,
Red Bull.
they just also do
fucking
super cool events.
titties.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it has a little bit.
I've never actually seen a hot Red Bull rep.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all hot.
Oh, I just watch all the sporting events, and they're super cool. And I would love to be a marketing guy for them.
For Red Bull?
Oh, yeah,
That'd
it'd be sick, right?
Yeah.
But then the other one is McDonald's. As a company, McDonald's is one of the most, if not the most impressive company in the world.
Yeah. Single-handedly taking down the Amazon rainforest. Name another company that can clear hundreds of acres a day.
I'm just saying, like, it's fucking mind-boggling that they're the largest consumer of fresh produce in the world.
Yeah.
They're in almost every country in the world.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Aside from, like, the real bad ones. I don't think there's a McDonald's
In like, the Congo.
in like,
There
North
might
Korea.
be in the Congo.
There might
to
be in the
honest.
Congo.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one in Iran.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, Iran, Iraq, and Saudi.
Yemen?
Saudi all have McDonald's. They have them on bases and stuff.
Oh, does that count?
It does count.
a
It's
U-
on their soil.
A military base is U.S. soil, is it
Yeah,
not?
but public can access those little things.
Okay.
The Timmies, too. We have Timmies in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the same reason.
Did you imagine the Timmies in Iraq?
Probably not great.
Probably not great.
Yeah.
You think your Boston cream is bad now?
Speaking of all this,
Mm-hmm.
and produce, actually, I was looking into water. I went on a deep dive on water.
Oh, okay. I just had the mental image of you like in water with your eyes open. I'm looking into this.
It's weird. Real open in here.
I can see, but not great, and it hurts.
I actually have never had issues seeing underwater.
I have a hard time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
But like, you can't wear goggles and not look like a dork.
I just have never really worn goggles.
You've never worn goggles?
Like, not very rare. Like, seldom.
Oh.
I'll wear them if my point is to, like, look closely at the dirt. You know? Like,
You never snorkeled?
no. Like, I just...
That's
in-
another thing you can't really do without looking like a dork.
Yeah, you can't snorkel. Like, I think...
How are you as a man gonna snorkel?
Yeah,
Put a
just
tube
go
in your
with
mouth?
my eyes open. You don't go under, like, in the lake and stuff with your eyes open?
Most lakes, no. You can't see more than like 3 inches in front of you.
I can see pretty far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, most lakes I go to are pretty fucking stirred up.
Yeah, you just gotta swim out a little bit and then you go under.
Oh,
I can still see, like, a couple feet even when it's all sandy and shit.
okay. I love being a demon in the water.
Yeah?
There hits an age where you go to the beach and people stop wanting to swim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Well,
never been me.
That just happened to me. I fucking, yeah, I tore my shoulder up.
Swimming?
Dude, I love swimming, and I just went in and went to do a, like, and it just,
No way.
yeah, I fucking sucked a bag of dicks.
My favorite, like, I went to the beach last summer one time, and we show up, and it's like just me and Brian.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know those days where it rained like yesterday, so it's fucking choppy?
Yeah.
And there's waves coming in? I'm stoked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get in the waves.
Like, we got like 2.5 foot, 3 foot waves hitting the beach.
Yeah.
I'm like shaking excited. And she's like, why? And I was like, because we're going to go in the water. She's like, I thought we just like hang out on the sand.
Why do we go to the beach then?
Why do we go to swim?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we got to come on. So I drag her out into the water. We go all the way up to the sandbar. And I'm like going, like, I'm just like a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the waves are pushing me up. And I'm at the point where I can touch the sand until the wave hits me. And then my feet are just like, and then I touch the sand again. I'm having a fucking blast.
It's a great time.
Right? Yeah. She lost like $50 earrings that day.
Why'd you wear them in?
I don't know. I mean, she's like, I would have lost him if you didn't drag me out here. And I was like, babe, you saw the waves.
You saw the waves. You knew what was happening.
You knew what was happening. Like, especially when you're running in and the waves are hitting you at like chest level.
Yeah.
Right? But you can still kind of like run in. You like jump into them and they like clap your chest.
Yeah.
Ah, fucking love swimming.
We should get a stormy day and go to the beach.
Dude, and swimming in a lake when it's raining.
Oh, sick time.
It's the craziest time.
Yeah. Everything's wet.
You're wet all around you. You're 360 degrees wet, but you can breathe.
Yeah. That's a
like
great time.
It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. It sounds like you just really like jolly jumpers.
Yeah. I mean, if you probably stuck me in one, like an adult size jolly
You'd
jumper.
have a good time.
You just stick me in the doorway.
Blast, yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of? The thing that's hooked onto the doorway?
You just bounce around.
Just have a party and be like, you're getting too crazy. Put them in the jolly jumper.
Yeah, you're going in the jolly jumper.
You get 45 minutes in the jolly jumper, then you can come hang out with us.
Oh yeah, so water.
Yeah, sorry, you were looking into water.
I was looking into water. Did you hear about Cape Town?
What about it?
There's a lot of fear-mongering around water. I want to preface with that.
Okay.
Cape Town had like day zero where they were going to shut off water to the city.
Why?
Because they were running out of water. Water is a huge problem worldwide.
Yeah, I know this.
So like Mexico City, they pull from their aquifer, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mexico City's on
on a lake, and they pull from that aquifer instead of collecting rainwater, because originally the lake would have collected rainwater.
Yeah. But now there's too much built up.
It's like, it just floods in their city and they get rid of it. And it's like, but you need that water.
Yeah.
The aquifer doesn't replenish like that. Like it takes
time.
Thousands of years to replenish.
Yeah.
So they drain their aquifer, and they're in some spots of the city sinking by 9 inches a year. Because the soil compresses because there's no water in it.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you should see. Like, look at pictures.
9 inches, that's way too much.
That's a fucking lot, man.
That is a fucking lot.
So they're like, within the next 20 years, they'll be out of water. Like, they're saying 2040 that they'll have what they call day zero, where they just can't, like, there's no water, and they won't be able to supply the city with water.
You should get on that.
And there's 22 million people.
Mexico City's huge.
Yeah, they pipe it in from places. Guess what their water loss is from pipes, from leaky pipes?
Oh, it's going to be something like 100,000 gallons a day.
42% of their water is lost through leaks in pipes.
Oh, they got to get on that.
They only get 58% of the water that they're shipping in.
They got to get on that.
So I didn't realize this. The situation with water is like, it is insane.
There you go.
It's illogical at its best.
Yeah.
We grow alfalfa in California, where they notoriously have terrible issues with not having enough water.
Yeah.
And they ship in water from the Colorado River over to California and then charge the farmers less money than it costs just for the delivery to water the fields in the desert to grow alfalfa.
Okay. That's pretty bonkers.
That's insane. And it pisses away tons of water because it just evaporates.
I think we sell water to the States for less, too. We sell water at a loss.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
We're going to die in the water wars, brother.
So we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world for water.
Yeah.
I think we are the wealthiest. Yeah, in the world for water. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of these places, though. Like, so South Africa and Cape Town, to come back to this. Cape Town had day zero, like, back in 2016.
Yeah.
That they were
You're talking South Africa, right?
Yeah, Cape Town, South Africa. And they were like, day zero, it's coming. They set a date, and we're like, on this day, at our current water usage, we're shutting off the water. You will no longer have water, and we can't supply it to the city. Fact.
That's fucking nuts.
the city panics, starts rationing water to themselves. Like self-controlled thing where they reduced their water consumption by half.
Okay.
Like, stopped shitting into fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, no, this is like, all this stuff's going to change, like, how we do this.
Yeah.
And they have indefinitely paused their day zero.
There you go.
They're okay.
Shitting into fresh water is crazy.
It's insane that we shit into drinking water. It's insane.
That is nuts.
You shit and piss in drinking water and then send it off to be, like, processed. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That is dumb. We shouldn't do that.
No, you should not do that. It's a ridiculous concept.
I think South Africa has a power rationing thing right now, too.
So, there's other... I didn't realize this. Goddamn pigeons.
The fucking pigeons, man.
I hate the pigeons.
I hate the pigeons, dude.
So, Tokyo, Beijing, Mumbai,
I like the little accent.
New Delhi, and what was the other one? Hanoi, I think, is another one. Are their day zeros within like 15 years?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tokyo's water consumption is apparently disgusting.
It's huge. Well, there's so many people. It's
Yeah,
the
but
biggest metro.
It's not that. It's their water consumption per person.
Okay.
It's like through the roof disgusting.
Why? What do they do?
They're just wasteful.
Yeah?
Super wasteful. Yeah, India's the same way. Like Mumbai and New Delhi both have horrific water pollution and waste.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. The Ganges is fucked.
Yeah, that river you were talking
Yeah,
about?
the Ganges is fucked. And then like like Beijing, they're same thing. They're wasteful. They looked at they've started doing analysis of like how much water it takes to grow certain things. So like growing alfalfa takes a ridiculous amount of water and it's shipped really far. Like for whatever reason we grow it out in the middle of the desert.
Right.
When we could grow it closer to a water source and it'd be fine and be less waste for the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like more conservative with your water. You wouldn't need to water it as much because it's in fertile soil.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of stuff like this that happens worldwide that is insane to me because it's like, I personally don't believe it's hard. Water's a right.
Yeah. You need it. You cannot survive without it.
Water is a human right. But it's also the most valuable resource on the planet.
Yeah.
So to force people to change, you have to make people pay for water.
Yeah.
They have to. If you jack up the price of water, people will consume less water. And then you can be more conservative. You have more funding. You can develop ways to use that water better be more efficient with
for
it.
like specific things. But jacking up like water for people to like drink.
No. Here's the thing. You can't jack up the water that is being used on in people's houses.
Yeah.
People pay for that water already. The 78% of water consumption in North America is agricultural.
Yeah.
So farmers, you got to jack up the water on them, but then in turn, our cost of product goes through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
But what it needs to be is that it forces farmers to shut down. I don't give a fuck that you grew alfalfa in the desert for 100 years.
Who the fuck eats alfalfa?
Cows.
Yeah, that's the big thing, isn't
And
it?
then
Like
it's cattle feed.
like livestock, the amount of water it takes, because you don't you not just need the water for them to drink and survive. You need the water to grow their food.
Yeah,
and isn't most of like corn production like livestock feed?
A lot of corn, and then like I say, alfalfa consumes a ton of water. Like per kilogram, it's like something like 158 gallons, something like that, per kilogram of alfalfa, which is insane
amount of water.
That's an insane amount of water.
If you put that much water in front of you, you'd be insane. You'd be like, your mind would be blown.
Dude, it would fuck your brain. You'd be like, for this little, like, a little thing of alfalfa like this, you'd be like, what? Yeah. So I think what needs to happen is that we have to get to this point where we do make things unaffordable and force people to change how they're doing it. Because cattle don't need to be grown in places where they can't feed.
That's
like
true.
it's our system.
It is a system.
And
People are hooked on really cheap meat.
Why do we not pay for it? It costs us a lot of water to grow a cow. And I'm not jumping on the fucking bandwagon of like, oh, you know, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of like, well, we shouldn't be farming cattle because the cows are too expensive.
But like maybe not the scale that we are.
I think the scale's wrong.
Yeah.
I think how it's done is wrong.
A lot of people in the world don't need to eat meat at every single meal. But for some reason, we've decided that we do.
And I'm sorry to the rest of you. Like, this is a real thing. You get where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live in China and eat like an American.
No.
You don't get to live elsewhere in the world and eat like the U.S. The U.S. and Canada are super natural resource rich. We get to live like this because we live here.
Okay.
If you live somewhere else in the world, you don't get to do it at the same cost.
If you live in China, you can't eat 86 slices of American cheese for breakfast like we do.
Well, you know what I mean, though? Like, you can't consume beef at the same rate for the same cost.
I don't think they do.
We do. The world has changed a lot in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
The whole world is slowly turning to a more American diet. And the world can't sustain it. It's literally impossible. They've done studies. It's literally impossible for the world to eat like an American, for the whole world to do it.
Well,
There's not enough water in the world.
The U.S. throws away more food than it eats.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely nuts.
Oh, we burn crops too that, like, just because of brown coloring or whatever. It's horrible.
Yeah, and the produce that's ugly that doesn't make it to grocery stores.
Yeah, and then it just gets killed off and insurance gets claimed on it.
It's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal. We live in a wasteful society, but that being said, we're the wealthiest countries in the world for natural resource. Mm-hmm. North America is a fucking powerhouse of natural resource. Fuck off.
Let me eat my burgers, baby.
Yeah, like, fuck off. I get to do this.
I wonder how much water it takes to brew beer. Probably
not that much.
Probably a ton, dude.
It's not that much, I don't think.
No?
No.
It's probably way more than you'd think.
Barley, I think, doesn't require that much water to grow.
No?
Barley and hops?
But no, like, what about in the brewing process?
Do they lose that much water?
I would assume so.
You think
Just
so?
because it's one of those things that is nice and I like it, so it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. Everything that I like doing and consuming is bad.
Yeah.
Because I like being a wasteful little piggy.
Yeah.
You know what I
you're
mean?
North American.
I like to eat really processed pork all the time.
Yeah.
I like to eat
Pork's
cow.
okay. Pork's okay.
Yeah?
Pork is actually, like, very economical to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to have shit delivered to me. I like to drink and eat things that no human should eat. You know what I mean? If you go back, like, 1,000 years and show someone the color of a Monster Energy drink, they will be like, that's not...
You shouldn't eat that.
You shouldn't drink that. That's the color of poison. They put that color on... they put that color on poisonous fucking plants and animals to tell me not to eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you have it.
If you go to 1000 AD and give someone a Super Fuego Taki,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They'll be like, that looks like the same color as the poisonous frog that got me really high and killed my cousin. You know what I mean? Have you ever noticed this? What? I've noticed this. Food isn't food colored.
No, because food color is boring.
Food color is boring, but that's the color of food.
Yeah, we don't want
You know,
that.
there's so many neons in food.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
Food shouldn't be neon green.
Okay, we have two different approaches to this. I accept that I am a North American.
Yeah.
And a wasteful little piggy.
I'm a wasteful little piggy.
That is the way I am. I was born and raised in it.
I am rolling in the mud right now. I'm a hog.
I'm more American like that I just accept. I'm like, this is the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just a wasteful little piggy.
I'm just a wasteful little piggy. I'm smoking tobacco that's grown who the fuck knows where.
I smoke and drink and eat cheeseburgers and drink beer and chicken wings.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it.
Yeah, chicken wings.
Yeah.
Chicken
Love
wings
it.
might actually be the least egregious because we used to just throw those
We used
out.
to just throw them out. So that makes me feel
But
better.
on the other hand, buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
That's not food color.
Perfect, though.
You know what I mean?
Perfect. I especially like that deep brown barbecue.
The deep brown barbecue that's just molasses.
Molasses. And fat.
Dipping it into like moldy cheese sauce dip. And
Yeah,
then I eat a celery piece and act like I've had a balanced meal.
I just accept this. And I recognize that we should moderate some of these things.
Yeah.
Which we should, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
I accept that.
We're going to moderate these things.
We have to moderate these things, but I also think that we need to just adjust our pricing in the system because I don't think it's unsustainable here. I think it's just kind of ridiculous how we set it up.
I would agree.
It's too cheap.
Yeah,
it's
too cheap.
I shouldn't be able to eat beer and chicken wings once a week and then have beer like another night of the week and have a cheeseburger at least once a week. I'm not going to be honest about how many times I have one.
I could realistically right now have a cheeseburger every day
Every
of my
day
life.
of my life. Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it.
Have a cheeseburger every day of your life, drink beer, and consume way too much water, and you wouldn't even think about the price.
Yeah, like take like a 20-minute shower instead of a 10.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like in there with a beer.
Or like, here's something you can think about. What do you do when you're hungover? Sit in the shower.
I sit in the shower.
I'll sit in the shower for fucking 45 minutes.
I will. And just watch it
pathetic.
all. It is pathetic. But dude, I'll do that. I'll like turn the water on. Oh. And I'll like turn the water on, then take a shit.
Oh, then
so it's already the right temperature.
It's bad. We're wasteful.
It is wasteful.
We're North Americans. That's the way it
That's
is.
my God-given right.
Yeah. God damn it, we're American.
God damn it, if I want to go in the shower for 45 minutes with my fucking gun and my cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You ever eaten a cheeseburger in the shower?
Yes. People don't live like that elsewhere in the world. That's us. That's our
us.
shit. That's our bullshit.
Like, Mobutu has to carry water on the top of his head.
For miles.
For miles. And I'm just like, turn on the tap and be like, it's not hot enough yet. Just like stand there and watch perfectly good drinking water.
Drinking water, just fuck off down my dirty drain. Yeah. Piss in the shower because I'm too loud. Like it's ridiculous. We live like pigs.
That is actually the most egregious thing. Is the like shitting and pissing and drinking water. It's like offensive.
Yeah,
that like
bad,
someone around the world is living off 3 cups of fresh water a day, and I'm just pissing in a gallon.
They're in
of
a
it.
constant state of dehydration, and we're like, God
I'm just
damn.
dehydrated because I'm lazy.
Or think about this: your toilet bowl gets a little dirty, and you scrub it out, and then flush down some perfectly good drinking water.
Yeah, just like pour bleach in good water, piss on it, and flush it. You know what I mean? That's actually fucked.
It's fucked up. It's
like
fucked.
with a middle finger up the whole way as it goes down.
This is the thing. People don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. And so we just commit these atrocities. And we're like, here's the way it is. Like, no, it's so fucked up. You can't do that.
You can't do that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right. Anyway, after being depressing,
we
have a little bit.
You got
of time.
a little bit of time, yeah.
Okay, so
did you know that I'm taller than Ludacris?
yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
actually
taller
did
than
know.
most people in the Fast and Furious. I think the only one I'm not taller than is Vin Diesel. Yeah, he's like actually a tall guy. The rest of them are all short.
You could have been a fucking
Paul Walker is negative 6 feet tall.
Wow, you were holding that. You see his brother named his kid Paul, so now there's another Paul Walker.
There's another Paul Walker. Don't
Yeah.
let him drive.
Don't let-
Should have named him Paul Driver, not Paul Walker.
You're such a jackass.
He was drunk, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like drunk. He was doing like 180 miles
Was
per
he
hour.
actually drunk?
I'm 90% sure he was drunk. 100% sure he was going like 180 miles an hour in a Porsche.
He was going real fast.
He was
I know
going
that.
real fast. Just because you drive fast in the movies, dog, doesn't mean you're actually good at it.
Yeah, like he probably was though.
Are you a Fast and Furious fan? You watch those movies?
I love the Fast and Furious.
Even the new ones?
Hold up.
All right. Do you have something to end on? Is this what you're looking for?
His. Oh, the brakes failed.
The brakes failed?
He wasn't speeding.
No, was he drunk?
No, the other guy was speeding and hit him.
I retract my statement.
Paul Walker died in a single vehicle collision on November as a passenger in a speeding car.
Oh.
It wasn't him driving.
I might be thinking of Ryan Dunn.
Ryan Dunn was drunk and speeding, and he hit a fucking pole, and his brakes also failed.
There was someone else with Ryan Dunn too, right?
Yeah, Ryan Dunn's was same thing, and a Porsche brakes failed, and he died.
Okay, that's what I'm
But he was
thinking of.
doing like a $180, and he was hammered. Yeah,
God,
so
what
I don't
king.
give a fuck.
What a fucking wasteful little piggy, baby.
Wasteful little piggy. Going
Burning
out
that
like
94 octane. Like
Love it.
180. Drunk.
Drunk, just going fucking nuts. That's the way we are.
I don't get why. Like, I don't drink and drive.
This is what I don't understand.
Hot take, I don't drink and drive.
I don't drink and drive.
But I don't get why some people think it's a great idea.
It's a terrible idea.
It's an awful idea. But for some reason, these guys are like, you know what make me better at operating heavy machinery? Downers.
Yeah, because they don't understand that your car is a death machine.
It's like the most dangerous thing you do
every day.
single day.
Every day.
Every single day.
And that's another thing about our North Americanness.
Yeah.
I love it.
I embrace
it.
It's like, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta bring this 2,000-pound machine with 4 recliners in it.
Are you kidding me? I'm a 10-minute walk from your house, and I hopped in my fucking 1,500 Chevy pickup and burned like $10 of gas coming over here.
Wintertime, leaving your car to idle as you
All the
grocery
time.
shop, just so it's still warm.
Yeah. Or I'll start it in the morning, let it run for 10, 15 minutes.
Like, what? You don't need to do that anymore. Like,
No.
you don't. This isn't the 60s.
I could just get in and go.
You could.
I won't.
The second that you push the gas, it heats the oil up enough. You're fine.
Yeah, you know what? You know what the worst part about it is I'll come out, start my truck, and then stand outside of it and smoke a dart and let it get warm in there. And I'll just pollute the atmosphere with my cigarettes. And then
your truck.
And then I flick it onto the ground and I get in my truck.
Oh, just
and drive
flicking your
away.
cigarette butt, not putting it in the garbage because it looks cooler. Flick it in the air.
Just pieces of shit. And if
I'm
you think
the
it's
worst.
just me, you're fucking wrong.
You're wrong.
It's 90% of them North Americans. They're fucked.
Dude, you want to think about wasted water? How much ice is left in your drinks when you're done with them?
How much? Oh, yeah, true.
If you're drinking, like, if you go to a bar and you're drinking vodka sodas, every glass is just full of ice that gets
Yeah. Yeah, you're like half your water consumption.
half your water consumption just gone.
All right, I want to throw this in there real quick because I thought it was real interesting. I'll save this other stuff for next time. So they did a study for, crowdfunding, like getting crowdfunding for venture capitalists and stuff. Apparently, tattoos substantially increase your rate of success for crowdfunding.
What do you mean?
They did a study on entrepreneurs with tattoos and entrepreneurs without tattoos. Guys with tattoos, way more successful.
Huh.
Vastly, based on like no difference in charisma
Maybe
or product. The guy with tattoos gets more money crowdfunding because people just don't want boring people without tattoos.
I guess so. You ever think about if you go to a restaurant and you see the cooks and none of them have tattoos?
It's weird.
Like, I don't want to eat here.
I don't want to eat here. These guys are psychopaths.
These guys are psychopaths.
They
They have
probably
to have
touch
tattoos.
their
They have
penis
to, and
to
they
my
have to
food.
smoke.
Yeah, smoke
You know what
and
I mean?
have tattoos.
That is crazy, though.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I feel like because tattoos aren't a counterculture item anymore. They used to be a counterculture. Now they're not. Everyone
I
has one.
wanted to wear the cut-off whites, like the white T-shirt ones, the button-up white T-shirts, but I'm afraid with the tattoos that'll look too much.
No, we've had people do it. You could do it.
I don't know if I can. I'm old school like that.
You're old school like that?
Yeah, I want to be proper.
I see.
Yeah.
I respect that about you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right.
we have been the Reasonable Doubt Podcast. You're filthy little piggies.
Filthy little
Filthy little piggies. Oink.
Stay reasonable.
Keep down. We love you.
Thanks, folks.
Goodbye.
It's down white, boy.
That was a good one.